Have you heard of the Hawaii of Europe? Well, visit Madeira and you'll be wondering if that's where you've just landed. This beautiful Portuguese island will leave you breathless. I used to live in Hawaii and I just traveled to Madeira after discovering that it exists, and I was truly blown away. Does it compare to Hawaii? Watch until the end of this video and I'll be sharing with you all the best things to do in Madeira, where to go, what to pack, and if it compares. Let's go! Here's some fun facts about the beautiful island of Madeira. Madeira is a Portuguese island and it is known as the land of eternal spring. When you visit there almost year-round, you'll find subtropical climates where the temperature feels like spring. There are flowers and trees and everything blooming. It's truly beautiful. There are tunnels all around Madeira. When you're driving around or even when you're looking at the island, the whole thing is mountains. I don't think there's a period of flat land for more than like a mile anywhere. It's all up and down mountains. They built a bunch of tunnels everywhere to help you get around the island efficiently. There is so much hiking you can do here. Madeira is truly a paradise for nature and adventure lovers because of the abundance of beautiful nature there. You'll truly see it when you're visiting. And that being said, when you're planning a trip and when you're visiting Madeira, be sure to practice leave no trace. Be respectful of the nature and the land when you visit. It is such a beautiful, clean, untouched hidden gem, and please be sure to leave it that way or better when you visit. How do you get to Madeira? So in order to get there, you want to fly. We flew on a 90-minute flight from Lisbon to Funchal. There's an airport right in Madeira, and then we based ourselves in Funchal the whole time we were in Madeira. We found this was the perfect base. It took as long as an hour to get anywhere that we wanted to go from there. It was just perfect for our trip. Our first day in Madeira, we did an adventure tour with Bravelanders, and I can so strongly recommend this amazing company to you. You go in a really epic adventure Land Rover. You're off-roading all over the island, up and down mountains, on dirt roads. It's really amazing because the tour is led by a local, so you really get that local perspective on the island and all the different places to see and explore and visit. We did a tour of the west side of Madeira, learned so much about the agriculture, the food, the people, the culture, and of course the nature. It was absolutely amazing, and I so strongly recommend doing a tour with Bravelanders for your trip to Madeira. After that, how do you get around Madeira? So after you do your adventure tour with Bravelanders, I would recommend renting a car. We rented a car with Driving Madeira. They can either deliver the car to you when you get to your hotel, or you can go pick it up. They're located in Funchal, so they have a fee for delivering it to you, or you can get a taxi and pick it up yourself. That's personally what we did. Another tip as well, the most common rental cars that you can find in Europe are manual. If you're American and you need an automatic car, this will probably cost you more, but it is worth it. Madeira is not the place to practice your manual driving skills. The roads are all mountains everywhere, up and down. You are going to be very grateful for an automatic car. Ours was even semi-automatic, so sometimes before going forward it would go back, and that made me a little nervous, but definitely worth it and the best way to get around. How long should you go to Madeira for? We were there for only 4 days because that was the best that we could fit into our itinerary, and we did all of the adventures that I'm going to mention in that time, but it was an adventure trip. For a comfortable amount of time in Madeira, I would recommend a week. There is so much to see, do, explore, and you'll have an adequate amount of time to relax in between your next adventure as well. When should you go to Madeira? We went in June, and the weather, the climate, the amount of crowds, everything was perfect. It wasn't too much, it wasn't too cold, it wasn't too hot. Like I said earlier, it felt like spring. June and summer is the dry season in Madeira, and then in the winter, so in December, those months are wetter months, but Madeira is still a perfect year-round destination. Where should you stay when you're visiting Madeira? I would recommend basing yourself in Funchal, and then from there, that's where you have the majority of the hotels and restaurants and Airbnbs and everything. You can do day tours or day trips with your rental car. We stayed at Villa Lusitania, booked that originally for the first couple nights and then extended it for our whole trip there. We absolutely loved the place. It was so beautiful. It had an incredible view of the ocean, a couple minutes walking up really steep streets, all of the restaurants and shops, and also their included breakfast was absolutely amazing. We booked it off of booking.com. What to eat in Madeira? So as we learned from our local guide, bananas are a very popular and huge export in Madeira. The bananas here are smaller and sweeter than typical bananas that you would see from places like South America. And then again, the seafood. Portugal is so known for its seafood, and Madeira is no different as it is a Portuguese island. So the seafood here is absolutely amazing, and so strongly recommend trying it when you're in Madeira. The rest of the fruits here, so they had farmers that were selling their fruits on the sides of the roads. The fruits and the figs were so delicious as well. Strongly recommend trying those. What to pack for your trip to Madeira? Layers. Like I said, it's known as the land of eternal spring, but spring means fluctuating temperatures. Because this is an island in the middle of the ocean, you're gonna get a whole lot of wind and different types of weather weather climates and patterns coming through, be sure to pack your layers. The sun is hot, but the second the sun dips or if you catch a lot of wind, it can get chilly. So make sure you have proper layers. If you're gonna go hiking and adventuring, make sure you have hiking boots. The most important thing is layers. And now let's dive in to the best things to do, what to do in Madeira. These are my favorite adventures on the beautiful island of Madeira. Oh, and a disclaimer before I share all these locations. I'm an English speaker and I speak Spanish fluently. Portuguese, I do not know. I'm gonna do my best to pronounce all of these names correctly, but please excuse any mispronunciations. I'm also gonna have the text on the screen. The first spot that I would highly recommend visiting is the Capelinha de Nossa Senhora de Fatima. Here you can go and get incredible 360 views of the mountains, the village, the church, everything all around you. You'll have to rub your eyes to make sure that this view is real. It is absolutely beautiful and just requires maybe 100 steps to get up to it. It is so beautiful and so worth it. Oh my gosh. I think it's paradise here. I honestly think it's paradise. I lived in Hawaii for a year. I didn't hear of Madeira until a couple months ago. Then once I saw photos, I was like, I have to come here, and I'm in awe. And it may compete with Hawaii for me as the most beautiful island. Up next, you have Pico de Arriero. This is one of the most iconic and incredible spots on the island for sunrise or sunset. Warning, it is freezing up here. Because of the elevation, you literally get above the clouds and it is freezing. So take your jacket, take your layers, even a hat and gloves, you will need it up there. It's freezing, but it is so worth it for the opportunity to see sunrise or sunset above the clouds. The most popular hike in Madeira is also located here. That's called Pico Rubio. That's around 7.5 miles round trip out and back. We didn't have the opportunity to do that this time, but definitely next time. The hike looks epic. Up next, you have Ponta do Sol. There's a really beautiful town you can check out here, walk along. You can see the cute beach here. There's a couple bridges you can see, and what's really famous about this area is that there's a waterfall literally falling right into the road. So you can drive through the waterfall with your rental car and get a free car wash for your rental car. It's really, really fun. Up next, we have Funchal Forest. This is where you have moody vibes for days. It feels like you're walking through an enchanted, almost scary movie. There's fog everywhere, really beautiful trees. It's a great photography spot if you're into that. Absolutely beautiful spot to visit. Next, we have Miraduro de Eira da Achada. This is an incredible spot you can drive up to again. You have an amazing view of the coastlines, all the mountains in the distance. You'll really feel like you're in Hawaii here, and there's a really cute swing you can take photos on as well with all of the mountains in the distance. Next, the activity that I would strongly recommend is taking a gondola ride up to the Monte Palace Tropical Gardens. These gardens are so beautiful. The gondola ride is a great opportunity to see all of Funchal with the beautiful, cute homes all around you, and the gardens are of course beautiful to see. There's also a really cool rock collection or cave within there that's just so cool. So if you're interested or fascinated in rocks, it's so cool to see. Thank you, Visit Madeira, for that amazing opportunity to experience. Up next, we have Porto Muniz Natural Swimming Pools. These pools are so beautiful. They're pools built right on the side of the ocean, fed by the natural ocean water with volcanic rocks all around. And then you have mountain views. You again have restaurants and shops around. And it's just a really, really nice spot to spend some time in and around the water. Up next, we have Miraduro El Juez da Ribeira da Janela. This is an incredible rock structure that's standing out in the sea. This is a really great spot for photography again. It's very, very unique and beautiful to see. Next, we have Cascada Agua de Alto. This is a hidden waterfall hike that you can try your best to find. I found it on All Trails and by reading a couple different blog posts. Basically, once you get to the All Trails destination, you'll be like, where's the trailhead? There's this really small road that almost looks like a sidewalk, but your car can go inside that. There's a parking lot at the top. It's extremely steep, and then there's a little house, and the trail is basically right by that house. It's super short. It's probably 10 minutes. You get to the waterfall. It's an overgrown trail. If it had been raining a lot recently, then you'll see a very, very beautiful waterfall that will give you all the Hawaii vibes. Up next, we have Miraduro da Ponta do Rosto. This is an incredible sunrise or sunset spot where you can see a bunch of colorful cliffs and rocks, take photos, enjoy the views, see the massive cliffs over the ocean. It's a really, really cool spot. Next, we have Miraduro da Ponta de Ladera. It's a lookout that you can drive up to. It's really good for sunset. You can pack a little picnic for yourself. There are a couple tables. So high up, you'll feel like you're in an airplane. You're over the cliffs, and then you have a a beautiful view of mountains in the distance, all the Hawaii vibes again at this spot. Take beautiful sunset photos, enjoy the sunset. It's a very, very lovely spot. Next, we have Praia de Seixal. This was voted the second most beautiful beach in all of Europe, and when you visit, you will see why. It is a very unique black sand beach with views of massive mountains and cliffs in the distance, and there's actually a waterfall on the beach that feeds into the ocean. It's really, really cute and a really great spot to go for sunrise. We were the only ones there for hours, took photos, went in the water. It was a really, really fun time. Next, we have the São Vicente coast. When you're driving along the coast in this part of the island, you'll look out the window and you'll just be like, is this real? Are these real roadside views? You can just pull over, enjoy the sights, walk along the sidewalk there. It's really breathtaking and stunning to see these massive mountains and then the tunnels that they created that you'll be driving through to get around the island. Next, we have Miradouro do Véu da Novia. This is one of my all-time favorite spots in Madeira and where I took one of my favorite self-portraits right at that spot. You have a beautiful waterfall falling off the side of a mountain into the ocean. It's a lookout again that you can drive up to. There are fig trees and flowers all around, and I really couldn't believe the beauty of all of these spots. There you have it. Those are all of my recommendations for places to go to when you're planning your trip to Madeira. Does Madeira compare to Hawaii? In my opinion, as far as natural, stunning, breathtaking beauty goes, Madeira compares to Hawaii, especially Kauai, where you have those sea cliffs that meet the ocean. Madeira was all of that and more. It is such a beautiful gem. I so strongly recommend adding it to your bucket list. When we went there, it was June of 2022, and we didn't meet a single other American tourist. Everyone there was only from Europe or other parts of the world. Americans haven't discovered this place yet. It is still a hidden gem. That being said, if you are planning to visit Madeira, please be sure to practice leave no trace. Again, I repeat this because it is such an untouched, beautiful, beautiful island. I truly believe that all places on earth humans deserve to go and enjoy and explore, but leave it better than you found it. Nature is our home and we are visitors, and it deserves for us to care for nature. That is my guide to visiting Madeira in Portugal. If you have any questions, be sure to DM me on Instagram. I'm at Mahna, M-A-H-N-A travel on all social platforms. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps support my channel. If you have any questions, comment them down below. Check out my full Portugal travel guide for all the things to do in Portugal. I listed out all the places to go, all the things to do, and I hope this was helpful.